Howdy, guys, and welcome to night 37 of the Overnight Feeds recaps for Big Brother season 24. And welcome to Cliff Notes as well. What an exciting Thursday evening. We had an eviction, we had an HOH winner, we had one-on-ones, we had plenty of conversations. So let's get right into it. I love Thursday nights for Big Brother. So, first of all, mentioning the eviction, no surprise to anyone, including the evictee himself. Daniel got sent home. He did get one sympathy vote from Terrence, but 8-1 vote. He's a little salty with his speech, calling everyone. I think he called them clowns. Said, "Go ahead and vote me out. I'm tired of being in the house with you." Well, they followed through. They did just what he wanted. He gave Terrence a hug out the door, left everyone else behind, trying to make an exit. So Daniel is gone. 8-1 vote. The other news that. The little interesting looking at strategy going forward and such. Julie announced Bestie Besties. I never did figure out which went before the other. Festy Besties is over. I think it was an interesting twist. It certainly changed things up, but I'm glad to see it gone because we also are now in the jury phase. Everyone is excited that they're going to be sticking around, either winning, being final two, or deciding who wins the big check at the end. So everyone has made it to jury phase at this point. Excited about that. And the big news, the huge news, we now know sort of what the new twist is going to be for next phase. Starting next week, sounds like we have 1 week of just regular old HOH nominations, old school Big Brother. But starting next week, somehow this house is going to be split in two. I think there's mention made no interaction between the two groups. I don't know how they'll do that. I don't know. They're going to bring in a porta potty for half the team or something. Wouldn't it be cool if you had the haves and the have-nots, the group split up like that, and someone gets the kitchen and the downstairs bathroom, someone gets tents in the backyard and a porta potty or something. I don't know, just throwing things out there. But somehow the house is going to be split up, no interaction between its two sides, and it sounds like each side will have its own HOH, its own veto competition, its own eviction. Julie mentioned a double eviction like we've never seen before. I assume that means that you'll have two sides each voting out one person as opposed to two quick fire evictions, one after the other. Now, that brings up some strategy of its own. After this next eviction, we're only going to have 10 players. So you're going to have 5 people for each of the two sides. That means if you got an HOH and you've got 2 nominees, then you only have, 3 people left? Is that right? Yeah. 5 per side, HOH 4. No, you only have 2 people. You have 2 people left, which means that theoretically, you could have one person and the HOH as a tiebreaker is all it takes to send someone out the door, which brings up a huge part that we weren't told about. How are these sides going to be picked? That's going to be gigantic. There can be someone who feels very comfortable in this game that's going to get booted just because they end up on the wrong side. Is it going to be like Survivor where they just draw buffs, or is there going to be some kind of strategic one person picks, next person picks, some schoolyard pick or something? I don't know, but it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be 2 hours next Thursday, so I'm excited about that. All right. With all that being said, and kind of bearing the lead here because we did have an HOH competition, and kind of important part of the game, isn't it? So yeah, we had the HOH. It was the iconic wall competition. Man, I love playing that wall comp. It was so much fun. Not easy, but a lot of fun. They played it last night. Thank you, CBS, for letting us get to watch the comp on the live feeds as well. And the winner is Taylor. Oh, Taylor, rags to riches. Yeah, Taylor has won this thing. And I got to say, she looked solid throughout this competition. You saw other people leaning and shifting. Taylor didn't move. She stayed solid throughout the entire thing. So she certainly deserves the victory. Now, Jasmine had said previously that if it was a wall comp, she would stay on that wall until her fingernails bled. Well, which apparently was about 5 minutes into the competition. I'll give it to her. I thought she'd last about 2 minutes. So she doubled the time I thought she'd stay up there. But Jasmine fell. She was the first to fall at the 5-minute mark. We never heard anything about have-nots. I was wondering if maybe the first few people that fell would be have-nots, which Jasmine would have hated that. But we haven't heard anything. So it may be that have-nots are not going to take place this week. They may be done for the season. We don't know yet. But Taylor won the thing. Jasmine was the first to fall. Kyle and Joseph were the last two up on the block against Taylor. I don't know that they threw it. I think Taylor would have won no matter what. Joseph says later that yeah, he threw it. Kyle says he did not. I don't know. It doesn't matter. They may have not been as eager to win once they knew that they were going to be safe with her and all that, but she deserved the win. She looked good up there. All right, on to the feeds themselves, because there was a lot of that. God, so much talking last night, as you have on a Thursday night. So we start off once the competition is over. Feeds cut away for a while. They come back. Everyone's trying to get cleaned up. They're in the showers. This comp guy, they got sprayed with all the goop, so they've got the stuff everywhere. Just looking horrible with all the multicolored goop and everything. So they're all just together, rehashing about it, cleaning up, showering, and everything else. Alyssa and Kyle showered together, not quite as as you think. But Alyssa was on the hot shower side. Kyle was on the cool shower side. Kind of cuts down on the romantic intentions when everyone else is in the bathroom watching as well. But they did get at least some shower time together, right? All right, we've got Taylor and Brittany doing a victory dance in the storage room. They're very excited, as you would expect them to be. Brittany is saying that Jasmine and Indy and Alyssa were completely silent after Taylor won, that she could tell that they did not like that victory. No, they did not like it at all. They were completely silent. She also, Brittany is saying that Terrence gave her a very dirty look when she cheered for Taylor after Taylor won the thing. Not a good week for that side of the house. That's Taylor HOH is not going to be good for those guys over there. Particularly Terrence. Yeah, Terrence is in a rough position. All right, we've got Terrence talking to Turner soon after that, saying, "Hey, I've always fought for Taylor. Hopefully that helps carry me along a little bit this week." Really, Terrence? I seem to recall some conversations where it didn't sound like you were necessarily fighting so much for Taylor, but yeah, you gotta do what you can. We'll see if it works this week. We've got Indy and Kyle discussing potential nominations. Indy is saying that Taylor had told her that she is not planning to nominate a girl. And she also, Indy mentions that, look, if Taylor does not nominate Monty, then we're going to know that they're working together. Well, yeah, they are working together. You should have known it already. But Indy's calling that out as her battle line. If Monty doesn't go up, she'll know what's up on the other side of the house. All right, we've got Michael and Brittany talking a little bit. They're talking about the fact that now that the besties is gone, now that there's that they feel like they truly have a large advantage from a number standpoint over the other side. They're saying because of both of those things, there's no need for these double agents anymore. Remember, Kyle and Joseph really have kind of been playing both sides with the knowledge of the leftovers. And they're saying, yeah, no, we don't need that anymore. Get rid of that. Well, they don't realize that this twist is coming up. If Kyle and Joseph jump out and say, yeah, no, guys, we were just playing y'all the whole time, right before we have a twist where Kyle or Joseph end up with maybe a majority of some of these girls, they're really going to regret that they maybe didn't play that double agent rollout just a little bit longer than maybe the plan is right now. But Michael and Brittany are saying, yeah, we don't need to do that anymore. Brittany at one point mentions that while she and Taylor were celebrating the storage room, that Jasmine came in and threw the door open. It was this big affair that, I caught you. And Brittany saying, I don't care anymore. What can you do about it? Don't even care that you know that the two of us are together and celebrating. All right, Michael is talking about the fact that the other side kind of knows about the alliance at this point, except for, as I mentioned, this idea of Kyle and Joseph being in it. The other side still does not realize that Kyle and Joseph are part of this thing. And Michael's saying they shouldn't have a free pass with the girls. I don't want to get to the very end and they say, oh, we were able to play both sides and all that. So he wants to make sure that the girls know that those two guys have been playing them. Pretty smart from Michael's standpoint. Yeah, they've been double agents and it's helped them figure out a lot of things, but I can't help but feel like the girls are going to be pretty upset at Kyle and Joseph when they find out that they have indeed been getting played the entire time. It may really hurt in terms of their trust with those two guys and who they're the most angry with and all of that. So yeah, I think Michael's on to something there. Michael is also upset that Joseph I don't understand exactly what this was. Apparently apparently Michael and Brittany had talked about to Joseph that maybe if the bestie festies continued, that they would put themselves up as pawns or volunteer themselves up. And Joseph mentioned that to the others in the group, Monty and everything, before they knew whether festy besties would continue. And Michael's all upset, saying he said it anyway after we went on and on, saying don't say that until we know what's the status is. They're just not real happy with Joseph and Kyle at this point in time. All right, we do have the guys, the Pound Alliance. The four of them are in the car bedroom celebrating with each other. Joseph at this point does say that he threw the comp. So again, not really certain before, but he's saying, yeah, she looked good up there, but I threw the comp. I wasn't too worried about it. And he says too, and she deserved it. I mean, it's let her have it. They think that they think that Taylor will probably put up Terrence and one of the girls. Indy's name is mentioned as perhaps the most likely. There's a mention of some comments that Terrence made about a woman, about the women. I'm not really sure what it was. I've heard a few mentions made of this in the last 24 hours or so, but it seems like every time someone starts to say something about it, the feed's cut. So I still don't know exactly what it was, but apparently maybe there was something said that that was bordering on a little not so good. That may be why we had Michael questioning Jasmine last night or a day or two ago about things that had been said. Don't know exactly what it was, and I'm not one to start rumors, but they start to say that and the feed's cut away. All right, we've got Jasmine and Kyle and Alyssa talking. Jasmine not so happy with a Taylor victory. She said, of all the odds, that's what happens. Yeah, that's the way Big Brother works. So she's not happy at all. She says she does not want to go on the block for her birthday week. She's going to beg. She's going to do whatever it takes to make sure that she doesn't go up on the block for her birthday. After Jasmine leaves, Alyssa is complaining about Indy and Jasmine both to Kyle, saying, yeah, they're just mean. She's saying that Jasmine, in fact, had said that she could make Brittany cry whenever she wanted to. And Kyle saying, why would you even say that? Why would you even go there? So Alyssa certainly is doing what she can to start distancing herself from Indy and Jasmine. She sees the writing on the wall. So Alyssa's trying to get a little tighter with Kyle and hopefully that side a little bit further away from the other two girls. All right, we've got Alyssa and Taylor talking. Taylor is saying that is telling Alyssa that Jasmine's not going to go home on her birthday. Now, she didn't say she wouldn't be a pawn, but she says she's not going home on her birthday. And Taylor's also telling Alyssa that you and Kyle are safe. I don't want to do anything to showmance you. Y'all are all good to go. All right, we've got Michael and Brittany talking. Michael wants Jasmine gone. He's had enough of Jasmine. He wants her out the door, and he doesn't think that Terrence is the threat that Jasmine potentially is. But Brittany is telling him, saying, look, Jasmine didn't go in this week. Taylor does not want to send Jasmine out the door. Don't push to get her gone because it's just not going to happen. Michael's disagreeing, but he's saying, okay, whatever. It's Taylor's HOH. So, okay. We've got Joseph and Turner and Monty talking. I think this is in the car bedroom again. Joseph's talking about how fake the other side is, how much they're suddenly kissing butt with not just Taylor, but everyone that's in this leftover alliance, that suddenly they're so much friendlier to everyone. Yeah, I kind of noticed that as well. Joseph is also calling out Terrence specifically, saying, I can't stand the guy. He is so fake. Everything he says just is driving me bonkers. And Joseph at this point is saying he's not sure how long he's going to keep hiding that he's in the leftovers, because it's just tiring for him and draining. I understand it, but you may want to wait one more week, Joseph, and find out about the twist. All right, we've got Taylor finally gets her HOH room around, I don't know, 12:30 or so, Big Brother time. Not the latest that we've seen it happen, but everyone was certainly waiting for it to happen. So Taylor gets her HOH room. She got a letter from her mom, which was very nice. She got pictures of her as a baby, and also pictures with her mom, her grandma, I think even her great grandma. So she got a lot of family pictures, and very nice. She got Janet Jackson music, so she very much was wanting that. So she'll be happy with that also. And of course, she got several packages of Lay's potato chips, as you would fully expect to have happened. So they all oohed and awed about that. Now, I thought one thing was interesting. Taylor, while she's in there, also said, come on, guys, let's see if we can do a little bit better with the cleaning of the bathrooms and the kitchen and everything else this week as well. I, I, I don't know. I'm not sure that when you get HOH, first thing you need to be doing is telling people to clean up more and all of that. It's HOH. It's not Queen, but that's all right. It's not that big a deal. All right, we've got Terrence. Taylor mentions that she wants to do one-on-ones. Give her about 20 minutes or so, and she'll start her one-on-ones. I don't think they gave her 20 minutes. I don't think Terrence even left the HOH room. But as soon as everyone kind of breaks up and leaves, Terrence is in there talking to Taylor. He's very supportive of Taylor. He says that he has no allegiance to anyone but Taylor in this house. That yeah, he was with Daniel, but of course Daniel's gone, so he's a free agent. His full allegiance is with Taylor at this point. He's her what I said one her number one from day one, or he's the, he's just kissing up to her a little bit, as people are want to do when you've got a new HOH winner. But he's saying, she asked something about who would your target be, if you were me, and he says, well, I know Monty was a big target before Daniel kind of took over as the main target. So, Monty's still out there if you're thinking of someone, Taylor. He's also bringing up the showmance as an option, saying showmances can be dangerous. I know they're sitting over there, and you've got some easy choices this week. Well, the easy choice that Taylor makes may not be the one that Terrence wants or is expecting. He does say he got a little overzealous last week, that he thought the house was all going to be maybe more supportive of keeping Daniel, getting at Kyle. He got a little overzealous, and it is what it is. And so he's trying to make amends a little bit for last week. Don't think it's going to be enough, Terrence, but he's saying what he thinks he needs to say. All right, Terrence Lee, and he finishes up saying, you got my full loyalty. Whatever you want to do, I support 100%. I'm your soldier. Just tell me what to do. All right, after that, we've got Indy comes in to talk to Taylor. Taylor tells her, says, look, I'm not targeting you. Again, I'm not putting you up for anything. I'm not targeting you. The language can be very tricky in the house. But Taylor's also hinting to Indy that she wants Monty out as her preferred target. She also tells Indy that she wants to put up two guys as pawns. This is a guy's turn this weekend. You're good. Indy turns around and is suggesting that maybe Kyle and Turner could go up as pawns, and then Taylor can turn around or the house can turn around and backdoor Monty. Taylor hears that and says, I made a deal with Kyle on the wall, so I can't probably put Kyle up. Now, back and forth, I'm not sure if there was a deal actually made or not. At one point, someone says, you don't have to actually say it out loud to know that a deal's been made. I don't know if there was actually a deal made, or it's more that Taylor is using a supposed deal with Joseph and Kyle for reasons that she wouldn't put them up, to try to hide for a little bit longer that they're working together. I think it may be more along those lines, that it's an excuse more than an actual promise. Doesn't matter. They wouldn't have gone up anyway, but she does tell Indy that Kyle can't go up because I made the promise to him. I made the deal with him on the wall. All right, Alyssa comes in after that point. Taylor saying, look, I have no plan to put you or Kyle up, either one. Yeah, you're good. Y'all are safe. I'm not sending the showmance home. But Alyssa also, just like Indy before, mentions Monty as a potential house target. Taylor comes back and says, yeah, maybe, but we also could get Monty later. I'm not so worried about Monty having to go right now. So she's a little less certain, or a little less hinting around to Alyssa as compared to Indy herself. All right, at this point, we've got Jasmine coming in. Always curious how it's going to work when Jasmine and Taylor talk. Not a lot of love lost. But Jasmine is talking to Taylor about how happy she is that she won HOH, that she always roots for the underdog. Yeah. I just leave that there. Jasmine is acknowledging, say, look, we didn't get off to a great start. It is what it is. And, it just, people hang with who they want to hang with. It just didn't quite work out. She said, but I'm glad we're cool now. And she says, the Taylor I saw on day one is so different from the Taylor I saw now. And I'm glad everything's worked out. I don't know if it's 100% worked out just yet, but Jasmine's happy that they're in the position they are now. She's saying that back when she was HOH, that she hopes that Taylor remembers that she only put Taylor up as a pawn because she knew 100% certain that Taylor was safe, that Pooch was heading out, that there was zero risk to Taylor, and that's why she put her up. That's the only reason that she did. Jasmine's also saying that Monty really seems to be the house target. Hint, hint, Taylor, if you want to work with the house. And Taylor mentions that she really wants to backdoor her target, and that she also wants two guys on the block. So again, she's hinting back to Jasmine that Monty's the guy that she wants to send out the door. Jasmine follows back up by saying, well, what happens if Monty's safe? What happens if he wins veto? Or, what are you going to do then? And Taylor at that point says, well, if that happens, you do have Terrence and Michael and Turner. There's other guys that are potential options at this point in time. But then later she says, but she really doesn't want Michael playing for veto because he's too good at veto competitions, that Taylor wants to be the first person to win veto and HOH. So probably not Michael so much that she would consider putting up as the other guy instead of Monty. Jasmine is worried that if it did turn into a final eviction of Turner versus Monty, that Turner actually could go home over Monty. I'm not sure Jasmine would be so upset if either one of those two went home, but she's expressing that fear to Taylor. All right, Brittany next. Now we're going to get through this pretty quick, guys. We got lots of conversations last night. Brittany's next on her one-on-one. Taylor's saying, look, I was telling the truth when I said I want to put up two guys as pawns. I don't want to put a woman up at this point. And so she says, at that point, then you start getting a lot of the leftovers coming in. A quick conversation, Brittany, before Turner comes in, and then Monty comes in. She's telling everyone that she made a deal with Joseph and Kyle. Again, I'm not sure if it's a real deal or it's just an excuse deal. She is also saying that she's telling the girls that she doesn't want the showmance gone. And she's also telling Monty that all the girls brought up his name as the house target. That would be a great one to go home this week. She also mentions that she'd love to get Jasmine out this week, but she just isn't going to do it. And so she's thinking as an initial thought that maybe Terrence and Turner on the block, with Terrence as the target, the absolute target. Turner's a little bit worried about that. Turner's saying, well, what if Terrence wins veto? Or what if he wins veto? What if someone else wins veto and keeps the noms the same? Now I'm stuck up there and everything. So he's a little bit nervous about that. And Turner's suggesting instead of himself and Terrence going on the block, he's saying maybe put Indy and Alyssa on the block. Let them battle against each other. They're going to end up going after each other. You're going to have that side of the house implode. And then based on what happens, one or the other goes home, or you still get a chance to backdoor Terrence. Yeah, there's a lot of options if you do something like that. And Monty is suggesting that, look, we probably at this point in time, we've got the numbers, just put up two non-leftover people in the house. So no matter what, when it comes to a vote, we're going to have someone that's not a leftover alliance member that's sitting on the block. I think there's some merit to that as well. Taylor at this point says that she's just not sure if she wants to continue or have these talks tonight, that she wants to enjoy her HOH for a little bit. But then she follows back up by saying she doesn't really mind messing with Terrence and Indy a little bit and screwing with them a little bit in terms of nominations and backdoors and all that. So we'll see what happens. All right, at one point, Monty, I thought this was funny. Monty's saying that, I'd love to get Kyle and Joseph up here, but Indy's a hall monitor for Joseph, and she's watching him the whole time tonight. And Alyssa's doing the same thing with Kyle. They just can't get away from those two girls. All right, we get Michael then comes in. Excuse me. Michael comes in. Taylor is saying that she told lies to the girls that she's going to have to go back on potentially. But she's telling Michael probably more explicitly than she'd said to anyone before, maybe, that her target is Terrence, that Indy probably could be the pawn up there, but Terrence is definitely her target. Terrence the target. Tongue twister there. So she's saying that she told everyone she made a deal with Kyle or Joseph, as we've talked about, that she isn't booting a showmance, and that she's not going to vote out Jasmine, one, because it's her birthday week, and two, because she's a fellow Black woman. She doesn't want that to be her legacy. So Jasmine's off the table as well. And then reports that Terrence said that she was his day one. So they're kind of laughing about that. She also mentioned the same thing Michael and Brittany had said a little bit earlier, that they no longer need double agents. They got the numbers. They don't have to worry about that anymore. All right, we get Kyle up for his one-on-one. He's reporting that the girls are saying that Taylor and Monty are working together, but at the same time, they're also saying that Taylor should be targeting Monty. So mixed messages there. Kyle is talking about how Jasmine said that she didn't want to have to come up and fake it in terms of having a conversation with Taylor. He says, I understand it's your HOH. If you don't want to boo her, that's fine. But I still wanted to let you know that Jasmine's still down there talking about how much she didn't want to have to work with you and all of that. And Taylor seems appreciative of that. All right, we've got Joseph in for his one-on-one. He's saying that Jasmine told him and I say that one-on-one. I think most of the leftovers are up there at this point in time, or eventually they all come in. But Joseph is saying that, yeah, Jasmine told me to come up here and sleep in the HOH room in order to get information from you. And they're all laughing about that. Joseph is saying that Indy maybe would be the best pawn to put up this week in terms of the women. They're talking about from the other side, who are the biggest threats? And they've kind of settled on the fact that they think Jasmine and Terrence maybe are the biggest social threats on that side of the house, and that Indy and Alyssa maybe are the biggest physical threats. The other side doesn't have a whole lot to work on if that's what they've come up with, right? Yeah, it's going to be a tough haul. This twist coming up week after or next week may be the best thing for the other side of the house that we've ever seen, because otherwise I just feel like they would get steamrolled from this point on. So they're identifying who the threats are, who they need to maybe worry about going forward. As I mentioned, it starts off as a one-on-one, but quickly we've got Brittany and then Monty, and Turner comes in. Monty suggesting similar to what Turner said, saying, hey, just put up Indy and Alyssa. Let the two of them battle out against each other. Taylor saying that she'd love to see Jasmine just explode if she thinks that she potentially could go home this week. It'd be interesting to watch personally as well. All right, Kyle comes up as well, finally breaks away from Alyssa, says that the girls told him to come up and spy. And guess who walks in the door right behind Kyle? Yeah, Alyssa is still keeping track of Kyle. Michael comes in at that point, and then Jasmine comes up. So it just turns, there's so many people in there, you don't have any more strategy talk at that point. They're all chattering away. It's just a matter, no one wants to go to bed too early knowing that nominations are in the morning. So everyone's staying up there. Someone mentioned, says Jasmine never stays up this late. Well, when you may get nominated the next morning, you do what you have to do. So lots of talking going on. Finally, a house guest in bed around 6 o'clock or so, Big Brother time. So a very late night. It may be a very early morning if they have to wake up and do nominations. We'll see what time that is. But the main thing is that, yes, nominations are today. I know Terrence is going up. Terrence has got to go up. Who goes up alongside Terrence? I'm not really sure. Probably Indy. And I guess, having said Terrence, it could be two girls going up at this point in time and a backdoor of Terrence. But are you so worried about Terrence competing in a veto competition that you want to backdoor him? I think it's going to be Terrence and probably Indy. That's my call. We'll see if I'm right or not. I'll be back tomorrow morning to talk about everything that happened with nominations and the repercussions and all the plotting, conspiring, and backstabbing that I know is going to be taking place this week. It's going to be a fun one. Congratulations to Taylor's HOH. It's going to be a fun week to watch. Guys, y'all have a fantastic end of the week. Happy Friday to y'all. And SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.